What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of two blasters from World Tech Warrior. The Renegade, which is effectively a Stockade ripoff, it's a flywheel blaster fed from the cylinder, and the Nomad, a single-shot pump-action spring blaster. But first, I'd like to thank this video's sponsor, Cats. Cats Crash Arena Turbo Stars is a game in which you participate in the World Championship of Fighting Machines. You try to build the ultimate battle car to reach the last stage called Crash Arena. You play as a mean street kitten and fight against real players all across the world in a synchronous multiplayer. The physics in the game are fun and unpredictable, and you can join guilds or gangs and fight with your friends for special rewards. There are tons of weapons and chassis for the car that you can customize. The game is available on iOS, Android, and Amazon. Download Cats from my link below and enter the promo code COOP772 and get free crystals. And back to the review, let's go over the external features and function of the blaster, starting out with the Renegade. The Renegade is flywheel powered and very similar to the Nerf Stockade. External features, starting up at the front, it does not have a barrel attachment point because this is not a Nerf brand blaster. Up top right here, it has an access door to clear out any jams. I fired the blaster a few hundred times and did not have any jams or malfunctions. Into the cylinder, it holds 10 rounds for your capacity and it does not flip out of the blaster in any way. But the barrels are exposed enough to easily load in darts so it doesn't have to pop out. Back to the trigger, it's a semi-auto blaster, but it does not have a rev trigger, so you have to turn it on and then it's always on, similar to the Stockade. There are pros and cons to this design element. I personally prefer the rev trigger, but some people like it, meaning when you pull the trigger, nothing happens, so you have to activate it before firing. But this on-off switch isn't really in a position to get with your right thumb, so you pretty much have to use your other hand to activate and deactivate the blaster. To the grip, it's a little bit smaller than average, and I found it very cramping and uncomfortable. I complain about small grips a lot, but this one is noticeably smaller than the Prime Dart blaster, also by the same brand. It seems like a miniature version of it, and this one, the Renegade, cramps up pretty quickly. The blaster doesn't cramp up, my hand cramps up when using it, that's what I meant. And to the stock, or miniature thing here, obviously not supposed to be used as a real stock, but it houses the batteries. This blaster runs on 4 AA alkaline batteries, so you can take out the screw, pop off the battery cap, and then remove the entire battery tray, install your 4 AA alkaline batteries. Pretty simple to understand. It really is just a Stockade ripoff. That is the Renegade. Now to the Nomad. The Nomad is a spring-powered pump-action single-shot blaster. Pump action, single shot. What a waste of pump action. I know, right? Because pump action lets you go faster, but if you have to waste all your time to reload anyways, what's the point? I don't know. But up front, it has 2 dart storage slots, so you can slide in 2 darts like that. And then right above that is the 1 barrel, and it only has 1 barrel. There is this little front sight, which I think is adorable, which it's difficult to... There we go, got it. And that front sight corresponds with this little rear sight for a sight picture. Kind of an elaborate sight to have on a pump action blaster, which I imagine most users are gonna go like this with, but whatever. This whole blaster is a contradiction, so I can't even try to look for logic in that. This red thing is the pump grip. To prime the blaster, you pull back like that, and you're ready to fire once. Pump action, single shot. What a waste, man. I love pump action when it has a magazine or a cylinder or something to allow you to go pew pew instead of pew. Wait a second, give me a second. Pew. I mean, I need more pews, man. And behind that, back here, is the battery tray. It's not necessary to make the blaster pew, that's just because it's a spring-powered blaster, but it enables the lighting effect, which is funny. And after you have batteries, you can turn those on like that, so every time you press the trigger, it does that. I feel like they're really cool sneakers. Like when I was a kid, I loved those shoes that when you like stepped, it did exactly that, like glowing, flashing, cool strobing effect. Clearly going for the style points with this blaster, so you prime it and you have it on. It lights up. Yeah, don't know what else to add to that. The trigger is what you should expect. It doesn't have slam fire because it's a single shot blaster, of course. The grip is kind of goofy looking. It looks like a hilt of those combat knives where you could totally like hit somebody in the face and open them, but it's plastic, so hopefully you can't. But the grip is fairly comfortable. Yeah, operating the Nomad though is really easy. You front load the dart and you pew pew. Or you pew. You don't pew pew, ever. You pew if you reload quickly. So let's see him fire. Firing the Renegade with the included darts. Now Nerf modulus darts. Now some third-party waffle head darts. Now firing the Nomad with the included darts. Now some Nerf modulus darts. Now some third-party waffle head darts. Operating the Renegade is pretty fun. It operates very similarly to the Stockade. Operating the Nomad, it blows, it's slow, it doesn't shoot well. These included darts are just terribly inaccurate. Spoiler, I don't recommend this one. But I put the Renegade up on the chrono first and I got an average of 77 feet per second with the included darts and an average of 71 feet per second with Nerf Elite darts. And the included darts are so inaccurate I don't recommend even trying to use them, so you can compare that 71 FPS average to that 70 FPS par that you can expect out of most Nerf blasters, so it shoots well, or normal. Yeah. And then I threw the Nomad up in the chronograph and I got an average of 57 feet per second with the included darts and 51 feet per second with Nerf Elite darts, which is noticeably slow and just terrible. And this blaster, other than the cool little lighting effect, is pretty much trash. Leading me into my conclusions on each blaster. The Nomad, not worth buying for any reason I can see. It's not even cool enough to be like a prop blaster, and it's so slow it doesn't shoot hard. It takes forever to reload, or relative to most blasters of this size. But the lighting effect, I can just say it speaks for itself, like the ending of Inception. You can interpret that as you wish. Either way, it's either good or bad. But that's all you need to see. But it didn't jam or have any malfunctions, but single-shot blasters rarely do. So there's that. The Renegade performed better than I was anticipating compared to the Prime Dart Blaster, which I just reviewed, and the Nomad. I didn't have any jams or malfunctions, and it runs on standard AA's, so it's very comparable to the Stockade in performance and the function, and it's pretty much a Stockade ripoff. It does have a pretty cool looking shell, and I like this front end, but the grip was a little too cramped for my taste. I wouldn't bring this into a battle because of that. Like, just after a few minutes, that would just bother me. But I have large hands, and I complain about that all the time. So if you have regular size hands and you're looking for a Stockade ripoff, this is a decent option. But that's the overview, firing demo, and my opinion on each of these blasters. If you're interested in purchasing either the Renegade or the Nomad, I'll put purchase links in the description box below. That's this review. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, bros, stay tactical.